I think that if you were to, for example, go and listen to John Kennedy speak at Amherst College, which was his last major address as president, it's a speech about the role of art in society. He's honoring Robert Frost. And so this is October of 1963. You listen to that speech, and it would be fair to judge it against the idiocracy that we seem to live in today. It's as if a comet hit and wiped out about 85% of mankind's knowledge. And there is a degeneracy in the society, like it's unraveling, right? The lack of ability to follow concepts. I was having a conversation with someone earlier today who was a Catholic priest and talk about the concept of the public good as a philosophical construct, and the difficulty of even expressing this as a concept, right, to Americans in this moment in time. So what the founding fathers said in the Federalist Papers, which is really a guide to understand if no one cares, if no one is engaged, if the society is consumed by lassitude, this all goes down. And so when you look at a John Kennedy 50 years ago, materially, substantively, in every conceivable way, there was a depth, there was an elegance, there was a seriousness of purpose that has been stripped from much of our politics. And the epicenter of it, right, is inside the Republican Party, which has become so deeply and profoundly corrupted. And I say this all the time. If you have a country with 18 political parties, and one of the major parties in the 18 all of a sudden takes a flyer on pluralism, democracy, human rights, all of these things, and becomes an autocratic party, that's not a societal crisis. If you have a two-party system and one of the two political parties, which also happens to be the third oldest political party in the world, does that, and we have an inability really to honestly talk about it, look at it, speak about it, and there's an absence of coverage around, to me, what is the fundamental issue, right, of this moment in history, which is the rise of an American fascism. That's exactly what it is. It's an extremist political movement. One thing that I will agree with Benito Mussolini on completely is this. Mussolini invented fascism, and Mussolini gave a speech about fascism where he basically said, I, Mussolini, invented this. It's mine. I'm going to tell you what a fascist is and who gets to be a fascist and who isn't. And if you apply the Mussolini standard from the thing that he invented and talked about in the speech he gave, Marjorie Taylor Greene and a lot of these people, and certainly Donald Trump and certainly Ron DeSantis, all passed the test. And so the issue is one of intent that shockingly to me over the last 7 years that very few journalists have gotten to, but I think I know the answer. And you hinted at it at the beginning. Would Donald Trump lock up his political opponents? Would he imprison me? Would he send people to re-education camps? I think that there's a lack of appreciation for how quick a democracy can fall and people can be put up against the wall as a historical matter in the 1930s and the 1940s. And if you look at the fact, 79 years yesterday on from D-Day, the most momentous events in human history, still within the span of a single human lifetime, are fundamentally forgotten in much of the society, which would have astonished my grandparents' generation, would have astonished most Americans even 25 years ago. So I think a society that can't remember, that can't practice gratitude, and that has lost sight of the compact generationally that we're going to leave the country better off, I think we're in a lot of trouble. And I think the trouble is constantly undersold, underestimated. CNN is a great example of this, right? With this notion of centrism as being some middle point that you have to frame as the contours of a discussion between two sides. But if you have one side that's completely delusional and fantastical and making up, he actually won the election that he lost, or any of a number of other things, and it's constantly propaganda all the time, there is no middle point to meet. There is no place to compromise with the neo-Nazi, with the Patriot Front, with the Proud Boys, who are now all certainly clearly in the open, part of the political coalition of one of the two major political parties in the country. And I think that regresses the country on issues of civil rights, on human rights, on gay rights in a profound way. And what I really believe is we're in the middle of a backlash of profound dimensions. But maybe the backlash is broader than the backlash to the Obama presidency and to gay marriage. Maybe it's a backlash against really a constant moving of the arc of moral justice, as Martin Luther King called it, really from 1947 through about 2016. And now there is the backlash to this. We are living through the backlash to the civil rights movement, gay rights movement, the Obama presidency, and we have seen the rise of this extremist movement that has actually taken power once. And if it can take power once, it can take power again. And if this MAGA movement gets in there and takes power again, we will lose democracy as we understand it in the country. The good news is there is a genius to our system, and that is how decentralized it is, and how disaggregated power is to communities, to boroughs, to townships, to counties. So very hard, right, for there to be the imposition of a totalitarianism in democracy. But could we lose our democracy in the way that Hungary has, in the way that Turkey has? 100%. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video. Also, for more content just like this, please consider joining our Warning Premium community. You can find out more in the description below.